Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 7 of the Not Quite Serious podcast, where Dan and I are not quite being serious.
Definitely last time we weren't very serious. Some terrible technical issues I have to apologise for resulted in some things being cut from last time's podcast. Let's hope they don't happen again this time.
Yeah, especially while we're experimenting with the new format. So, fingers crossed.
Fingers
Okay.
X'd.
Should be absolutely fine this time. And yes, this is episode 7, and it's the end of October, so, I mean, strictly speaking, this is our Halloween episode.
Oh, Halloween spooktacular. Well, actually, not really, but...
Not that it's going to be very Halloween-y, because we've got other videos on the channel coming out for that. But,
there's some Halloween-related stuff on the docket today.
a little bit. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
So, first, let's get to some food, because I'm hungry.
Oh, yes.
I'm not seriously hungry. I'm just hungry.
Oh, more on that later.
Yes.
Well, I'll start the proceedings then.
Yes, what have you got for us?
And I have these rather delectable Oreo donuts. It's a pack of 3. Got them from Asda for £1.50. These, so it's like what, 50p a donut. It's all right.
It's not bad. It's not bad if they're good donuts.
It's not the best donut deal I've ever seen, but yeah, I've seen 5 for £1, but let's not worry about that. Let's pop out one of these. Comes in this big, rather blue and lopsided looking cardboard box. The box definitely hasn't consumed any of the value of this product. It's a very cheap looking nasty box. But
just enough to hold the donuts.
Clear window so you can see the Oreo delicious biscuits donuts within. These are 453 calories for 100 kilograms. And is it going to share with me exactly how many kilograms are in this pack?
Kilogram?
Gram, sorry.
Okay,
100 grams. That'll be a heavy pack.
They're heavy donuts, yeah.
One donut is about 72, so do the math. 72 kilograms, 70% of 400, about 400, 350 calories in this.
Sounds about right for a donut, yeah.
It's a very chocolatey looking donut.
Imagine if you're... Go on.
It kind of looks like a birthday cake from its side on view. Big brown chocolate donut with a white icing on the top, which is like the Oreo cream, right? And little chunks of actual Oreo sprinkled on top there.
Very nice, very nice. But what does it taste like?
Smells nice and chocolatey.
Yeah?
Just a faint whiff of chocolate. And it tastes... There's a nice hint of Oreo there, which you would expect.
Yeah.
What with there being actual Oreos on top.
I was going to say the bits on top are actual Oreo pieces, aren't they?
And maybe a smidge soft, because they've basically been in this format, in this icing. The chocolatiness of the actual donut is very firm. It's not like a mega rich chocolatey taste. Maybe a tad bready.
Yeah.
But the icing on top kind of helps get around that problem by kind of mixing the flavour together.
So it's verging on being a bread donut rather than a cake donut.
Maybe a tad, but it is definitely getting all over me. It's basically disintegrating with every bite. You're very careful in this.
I tend to find Oreos do that anyway, so it's...
It's good though, 50p. It's a very big donut, and plenty of it. Look at that for me.
Excellent. Very nice.
To wash that down, got myself some Purdy's Rejuvenate multivitamin fruit drink.
Now I have tasted this, but I'll reserve my thoughts until after you've tasted it.
It's in a solid glass bottle. It's very hefty, this. Silver packaging on there. Slightly shine to it. This is round about 99 calories for the lot. So I'm expecting this unique blend of grape and apple juices, sparkling spring water and botanical extracts enhanced with vitamins to give me a gentle lift. Because that's what it says it does on the packaging there. 330 mils. Let's crack this open. Oh, that pongs. It pongs a fair bit. You kind of get used to it when all of its aroma gets out. That first kind of whiff you get before you've cracked it open fully is really unpleasant.
Like something else in there besides the apple and grape, isn't it?
Yeah, the multivitamins probably. And this set me back £1 Asda. I think it was on offer because I saw a different bottle of this, which was like £2 something.
I think the one you've got there I've seen around for about £1.40, maybe a bit less. So
got myself a deal there. Oh, by the way, guys, if you're watching this from the NQS podcast video separately, you can check out the whole podcast on our YouTube channel.
Don't sound too excited.
Oh, it's going to be a good one, though. We're going to be talking about YouTube's update on their algorithm, the upcoming series Halloween 3, and we're going to be taking a little bit of a chat about the Evil Within 2 game. All that and more.
Yeah.
So, let's get this down the hatch then. No. It's not rejuvenating at all. It's very crap. Is that cranberry? No. Grape, I guess.
It's... From what I remember, there's a fair amount of apple juice in there as well. So.
I guess I'm tasting just apple, but it's like a slight sort of cheap, incredibly dissolved apple taste. Kind of like you've taken an apple and then juiced it. There is a bit of like a sense of real juice in here, but then they've kind of sprayed it with that artificially flavour stuff. And
what I think it might be, because I have tried this before, and I don't mind the taste, but I did have to, it did have to grow on me.
Yeah.
What I think they've done is it's apple juice with grape, but the grape they've used doesn't meld very well with the apple juice.
No, they don't. The flavours don't mix very well, and
No.
I guess that's supposed to rejuvenate you. I guess.
I think the multivitamins in the botanical extracts or whatever it was are supposed to rejuvenate.
If this is how it tastes fresh from the fridge, I wonder how this tastes when it's warm. Oh, it must taste really gassy.
Straight off the shelf.
It's an incredibly carbonated beverage, that one. Thumbs down for that, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I don't mind it, but it is a grower. It does have to grow on you, I found anyway.
I think if I kept ads here, I would get used to them.
Probably. It's not. You don't really want to have to get used to drinks like that, though, do you? You prefer them to be nice straight away.
Oh, that's true. Pop some in this glass so that anyone that's watching can see the liquid.
Yes, I've never actually seen the colour of this. I usually just drink it straight out of the bottle.
It's a very amber yellow. Basically, it looks like urine. Not as urine-y as like energy drink yellow, but
yeah,
it's still pretty medical looking.
That's probably the apple juice, to be fair. Apple juice is a yellowy brown colour, isn't it? So
I guess you got your pound. You get this hefty, nice-looking bottle alone. Maybe that's worth it. You can use this bottle for something else afterwards.
You could put some water in there and a couple of flowers.
It's not plastic, so you don't have to worry about it decaying. Well, that's my drink for the show.
Yep.
How about you, my good sir?
Well, we'll get to my drink later, because that's a different segment entirely. But first, these have been around for a little while, but I've never bought them. So I have got Oreo Thins.
Ah, yes, another Oreo-themed object.
Yeah, we're on a bit of a got a bit of a theme going on.
Bit of an Oreo kick.
So these come in a little silver bag inside. You get 2 little silver bags, it says on the packet, and there are only 16 of these thins in the pack. It says. I'll fish one out that's not broken. So these are extremely thin little Oreos.
I've always liked the idea of thin biscuits because it's like all the best bits of the biscuit sort of put together. There's no filler. I mean, there's filling, but it's not filler.
Let's do a scientific analysis on this one, because I actually have the normal Oreo here as well. So we can see just what the difference is. They're about the same size, but the thin is almost one normal Oreo biscuit half.
Yeah, about the size of half a biscuit. Yeah. So
it's very, very thin. So let's. I assume
seems
it
like
just
there's
tastes
slightly
like
less
Oreo.
filling in there ratio-wise. It just seems a little bit.
Yeah, it's because it's so very thin, I think. Yeah. Let's have a go. Let's see. No, it's just a very, very crumbly Oreo. Because the biscuit's so thin. It's it's very crisp. There's a different texture than a normal Oreo.
Is that a good texture?
Very very easy to eat. Just crumbles away.
Ah, yeah.
Let's compare it to this one.
Compare it to the real deal Oreo.
Yeah. This one has obviously it's much denser. And there's more substance to the biscuit. This is a more biscuit chocolate taste, whereas the other one is because it's so crisp and thin. It has a much more slight taste than the regular Oreo. Still very nice though.
Do you think they've gone down a good path thinning them up?
Yeah, they're not too bad.
I tend to find the chocolate digestives work really well as thins because you've got that chocolate on top, so you get more chocolate to biscuit ratio, and it works great.
The thin digestives I quite like.
The advantage is slightly lost here, I think.
I'd say these aren't as good as the thin digestives, but they're still not bad. These I got on offer for £1, so for that price you get 16 of them. It's not too bad. I don't know what price they are usually though. I think closer to 2, which is a bit steep.
Yeah, always look out for those bargains.
And then next I have 7 Days Bake Rolls, garlic.
Oh.
So these are, I don't know which country these are supposed to be from. It says they're produced in the EU. So
somewhere in that magical union.
Yeah, I just found them in the ethnic section of the supermarket. So
okay, so if it's ethnic, that must mean it's like the more eastern part of Europe.
No, that's, just ethnic as in not British, basically. Yeah, that kind of ethnic.
Perhaps it's Polish.
Could be Polish.
There's a Polish shop down the road from here, actually.
Ooh. Oops, sorry. Hit the mic. Yeah, they smell quite garlicky. They're little round tins. They look like a small piece of bread.
They're a lot thinner than I was imagining.
Very, very thin. They feel like they'd be very crisp. Smell very garlicky. It's quite nice, actually. It's a nice smell. Oh, wow.
You're munching away there.
They're extremely crisp.
Are we talking like a loaf of garlic and garlic bread just chopped into fine, thinly toasted slices here?
More or less, yeah. They're very, 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 very crisp. They've got a nice, slight toasted, baked flavour, and the garlic is not as too pronounced. It's enough garlic for me that I really like it. I wouldn't mind a little bit more, but there's enough that it's a satisfying, crunchy, garlic flavored little snack. I like those. Well done, 7 days.
Sounds like that was thumbs up all around on your end there.
Definitely, I'll give both those a thumbs up. I think the baked rolls are about £1 as well, just for...
Oh, yeah. The consumer advice there.
Yeah. I think they're usually £1, so...
Oh, that coffee there you've got isn't one of your items. That's just you taking some coffee.
Yep, this is just my coffee.
He's got a very Halloween-themed mug there, actually.
It's my Jack and Sally mug from A Nightmare Before Christmas and such.
Yeah, is that Halloween-themed or Christmas-themed?
It's hard to tell. That's why it's appropriate this time of year.
Yeah.
But yeah, very, very good all round.
Yep, pretty good food section, that.
Now, if we're done with the food, we can move on to my favourite part of the show, the beer.
Oh.
Drink beer, so I can have beer, so I can get
the beer I picked this time, or the beer I stumbled across in the supermarket when I was hastily looking for a beer to try on the podcast.
You mean you were carefully thinking out in advance, like...
I carefully selected this beer among thousands of others.
Possible candidates.
This is a Redwell Cofferet Stout. Comes in a nice little 330ml green can.
What's a Cofferet?
It's the name of the beer.
Yeah.
It's 5.9% volume, and there's a picture of a space monkey on the tin, which is what drew me to it, if I'm honest.
Yeah, usually I think that's a big thing about bespoke beers and ales. It's got to have really nice packaging because there's not that much they have to sell you on. It's not like drinks. You can't see the beer in advance because of how cans work, and it's not like you can't smell it. So they've got to have that looking good.
Yeah, and this beer, just if anyone's interested, is fully vegan. So, yeah.
Well, beer's normally brewed from like hops and barley, right? And that's pretty.
Hops, barley, malt, yeast. Yeah.
Is yeast vegan?
Not all. I don't know. Yeast is a living thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well.
I'd have to ask a vegan friend.
Yeah.
Let's crack this thing open. It smells kind of tangy, but good. Not like vinegary tangy, just slight tang on the nostrils.
Oh yeah.
But a dark.
Oh, that is dark. I can see that transferring into your glass.
Pour that out.
I don't know why. I just don't imagine stouts to come in 330ml cans.
Well, they come in 330ml bottles, so why not?
Yeah.
This basically that's what you're getting.
What I'm seeing here is like pure black with a
sort of caramel coloured head. Yeah, that's how I describe it. It's vaguely translucent from my point of view, but only barely.
Might not see that on the camera, yeah.
No, I don't think you can see that on the camera. It's just barely translucent. If I hold it that close, you can see the head through it. That's just almost, just vaguely.
I can see your TV for it.
Yeah.
The reflection there.
Oh yeah, there it is.
What's he watching?
Got nothing at the moment. Let's let's see what this tastes like. I'm not sure. It's quite. Hang on. No, I'm not sure I like that. It's got quite a tang on the tongue as well as the nose. What is that?
I don't like my beer to be overtly tangy.
No, It's a strange one. Just checking the sell-by date.
I
It's
suppose normally a stout might have a bigger head. And the head was...
it's got a slight. Yeah, that might be just because I didn't pour it fast enough. It has a slight dark sort of roasty flavour, but it's hidden behind this off-putting tang. The very first thing when it goes into your mouth is a slightly sour taste. That's what it is. It's like it's sour.
Yeah. I once had a beer which tasted like it was just standing water. I think I had that same beer another day and it was fine. So perhaps you just got a bad one there.
Maybe I've got a bad one, but it's sour, which I've never had a sour stout. I've had sour IPA or sour pale ale, and that's fine. The flavors work a bit better, but
that's true. A good stout is usually very creamy and
malts, and there's no creaminess. There's no sort of coffee like dark roasty flavors. It's slightly malty and sour.
Perhaps the 330ml can just isn't suitable.
Oh no, I don't like that at all.
Oh,
I'll probably there's worse out there, but I'm probably going to have to give that based on this taste test, whether I've got a bad one or not. That's whether this is a bad beer out of the batch or whether this beer actually tastes like this should make no difference to my score. So I'm going to give that a 3.
Pretty unbeer-fied.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't think I'll finish it.
Can't remember. Is that out of 5 or 10?
Out of 10. Out of 10.
Oh yeah, so it's not a very. It's probably going to be the low end of your scale for now on.
Yeah, that's definitely a low. I don't think I'll finish it. To be honest, I don't really like it at all. So no.
I hope you'll enjoy
I'm gonna have
the tasty food. Yes.
Gonna have a bit of coffee which isn't sour.
Alright, so to balance it out. Whilst
yes.
Leon's clearing his palate. Thank you for watching the food and drink section. If you want to check out some more of the podcast, come on down. We got plenty more. What have we got next, Leon?
Next, we've got I was going to say we've got a video, but we haven't. We're continuing this video. And let me turn on my TV because the story is on there. So yeah, basically, we all know about YouTube's adpocalypse. Yep.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So for just a little bit of background, YouTube's adpocalypse. They advertisers fled earlier in the year. YouTube introduced an algorithm to sort of entice them back, and the algorithm automatically flags videos that may not be advertiser friendly, and it either reduces monetization on those videos or demonetizes them completely. There's sort of 3 levels to it as far as I'm aware.
It's
fully monetized.
Impact, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's 3 levels as from what I can remember. There's fully monetized, semi-monetized, and completely unmonetized. And it's had a big impact on a lot of content creators. Some of them even losing up to 2/3 of their income.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's people having to get videos manually reviewed. Like some content creators, every single video they put up needs a manual review, and a lot of them, when they've been manually reviewed, are monetized just fine. So there's obviously, if that's happening, there's a huge issue with the algorithm at the moment.
Yeah, people that have been in good business for years are having to go to Patreons and things just to keep on doing their content because of how this has changed things.
Yeah, it's changed the way you do YouTube drastically. But yeah, there's a lot of, like I say, a lot of people request their videos to be manually reviewed, and they make it through. So there's obviously a big issue with the algorithm. But what YouTube have said is YouTube are claiming they've improved the accuracy of their system were automatically demonetizing videos, and allegedly 30% fewer videos should be misclassified as of, is it last week, this week?
It was just recently, this one, yeah.
It was, I think they finished updating the algorithm by this Friday, yeah. So supposedly, as of this weekend going forward, 30% less videos will be demonetized. But
so this is overall, not just 30% less mistakes.
yes, overall, hopefully, apparently. This is what YouTube are saying themselves, so we have to take it with a grain of salt until we've seen the evidence. But supposedly, yeah.
Does that mean though that there's still like scores and scores of people out there making content? That over 70% are still, there's so many people out there making bad content that can't be monetized. That seems like a lot. Although I guess
oh no, this is 30% fewer videos being misclassified. So at the moment, if you imagine this is like take 100%, all misclassified. So really, 30% fewer still means 70% of videos are still getting misclassified.
Still a long way to go.
Yeah. So there's still a huge amount of videos being misclassified. Obviously, there's still a lot of videos which deserve to be deserve to stay unmonetized, but
the system is there for a reason.
Yeah, obviously we're not concerned about those. We're concerned about the people that are losing money because of something that's not their fault and having to go through all this ball ache to appeal to YouTube and try and get it sorted.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, time will tell, and we'll see how it goes.
Let's hope that people start making money again. I mean, YouTube was supposed to be this creative platform. It was kind of like the new Flash. All the people jumped ship from Flash to YouTube and stopped animating and making videos. But are they going to have to jump ship again? Or, yeah.
Who knows if another company comes up and says, "Hey, you can post your videos on our platform and fully monetize them, etc., etc." Then maybe. I mean, that might be a long way off. It might be sooner than we think.
Tiny companies trying to do that right now.
Yeah.
But you never know.
You never know. Yeah, like I say, we'll see. I mean, if people are using Patreon as their main source of income, they can put the videos pretty much anywhere, to be fair. If YouTube's not getting them any income. So,
yeah.
A lot of creators turn into Twitch. So,
do you think Twitch has a less arduous advert refining there?
I don't know, and Twitch's entire, almost Twitch's entire business model revolves around Let's Play, which is already a bit of a legal grey area. So
yeah, one day all of Twitch is just going to flop over when they ban all Let's Plays.
Possibly why Twitch has gone into Twitch. I thought a while back went into allowing sort of they call it Twitch in real life or something like that.
Twitch.
They have for non-gaming content, yeah.
Yeah, so they're kind of having to build it backwards in a way, kind of like.
Yeah, well, they have gone backwards because Twitch started as Just in TV, which is non-gaming content, and then they rolled out Twitch, which was gaming side, and then they closed Just in TV, and now Twitch has reopened IRL. So.
Whoa! It's just like them releasing a phone and then taking a feature away, and then releasing another phone saying it's a new feature. Check out this.
Like a headphone jack.
Yeah, well, check out this headphone jack.
Yeah, so that is what it is with the situation on YouTube at the moment. But we'll see. I mean, time will tell. Keep an eye on a couple of content creators who are also keeping their eye on this, and keep you all updated in the future. So yeah,
heavy hitting news here on the old Not Quite Serious podcast. And speaking of heavy hitting news.
Considering we're called Not Quite Serious, we're being a little bit too serious. Let's talk about something else.
Otherwise, in the world of news, coming up on Tuesday It's going to be our Seriously Hungry Halloween Spooktacular 3.
Yeah.
The show is it's been edited and it's been viewed through. It's a 20-minute long beast though. Quite a long video for our.
Still can't believe we've been doing it for this long.
Yeah, the non-stop video making. With these podcasts, it's really been weekly content at the moment. We did have an experiment the other year with a 6-month bracket of pre-scheduled content. But, we're still experimenting. Still trying to grow and get our groove.
Yeah, still not making any money from this, so...
But the Spooktacular, basically the same principle. It's Seriously Hungry, back again. First time since April, I think. That's when it aired anyway. We filmed that back in February. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a long time. We just couldn't keep making one every month.
You kind of... it comes to a point where, you kind of do the same formula over and over again. You got to change it up. And there's only so much you can do with the principle of eating 5 products every time. And
the smaller videos are much easier to make, and for our behind the scenes editor, aka you.
Well, speaking of easy to make, this was not easy to make. It was filmed in 4K resolution. It's gonna look amazing. It's gonna be, this whole thing, all the CG little bits in the middle, that's 4K. It's all captured in 4K.
Should be it'll be the highest res episode yet.
Yeah.
And hopefully the content lives up to that. So
better do. It takes a long time to render that.
Well, we'll see.
We shall see.
Yeah. Rightio.
In other aspects of your entertainment life, we'll move on to a bit of entertaining news.
Nice segue there, Dan.
Yeah. That's the wrong animation there. There we go. Entertainment.
Perfect.
Seamless, that.
Yeah, you think we did it live?
Yeah. And entertainment, it's an entertainment-related news item now. In the last podcast, we kind of covered a bit on the WCPW. They had their wrestling show called WCPW, and they decided to rebrand and make it something called Defiance.
Those guys breaking off and making their own channel.
Because the five main YouTubers that were sort of involved with WCPW left the company to make their own YouTube channel, which since then we've found is called Cultaholic, and it's starting sometime soon, whilst WCPW becomes We Are Defiant in December. Now, this news we did last time on the podcast. We actually cut this due to a horrible technical issue, which I'll not go into the baffling technical details.
So it doesn't matter if we repeat ourselves because no one's heard it, so it's fine.
Well, yes. So you got this new wrestling show, which is basically the same as the old wrestling show. All the storylines and wrestlers will carry on over. Unfortunately, you have to cancel the subscription you're on because that no longer offers the show, and you've got to go and get a new one when they launch that later. So
that's a bit of a pain.
Rigmarole. Unless you're a real fan of the What Culture lists and things, because that's all that's going to be on the service on that end.
Yeah.
A new development in this little bit of a craziness is that apparently before Cultaholic, the 5 YouTubers little project got off the ground, it was due to start next week, I think. One of the main guys has got himself caught up in a bit of a scandal.
Yes.
This came to light just in the last couple of days. So this is actually, for the first time, something that is actually relatively recent news here on the podcast. Yes, Adam Blompier has apparently he's come out with this public statement, basically saying that he'd been using his position in what culture to, well, basically, womanize a little bit. He's talking to women and getting himself in situations that he shouldn't be doing. He's a man with a well-established long-term girlfriend, and so he's kind of gotten into all that rigmarole. Perhaps his ego inflated a bit there.
Yeah, it's kind of
it's a difficult subject to even discuss on this channel because our channel isn't real. Our channel's family friendly, so
and we're not quite serious. So
yeah, he's
it's a little bit scummy though.
It's there's lots of mixed reactions on this, and perhaps his action of trying to go public with it with the hopes of, and this is his statement, that he can become a better man.
Well, I hope he does.
He's basically going out of YouTube, coming off of YouTube for a while. It's caused the Cultaholic channel to be delayed for an indefinite amount of time. So there's other 4 YouTube guys obviously having to work around the problem.
Yeah.
I imagine they'll probably start without him eventually. They can't stop, from making money for too long.
No, I'd imagine they'll begin the channel in his absence.
So those guys are all once he's gotten through it all. And,
once he's gotten over his womanizing.
Well,
which
he'll be a better man.
To be fair, to be honest, can't be defended, but he has come out and admitted what he was doing and stepped back, and he's. I mean, if I give him anything, I can give him that.
He's a great entertainer, and I think that's kind of the curse of becoming an entertainer, is that you fall for these kind of pitfalls of doing things that are, unethical.
Hopefully,
not like me though. I'm a perfectly pious entertainer.
Well, hopefully, he's learned his lesson. He'll come away from that. He'll pull himself up by his bootstraps, and he'll get back to doing what he does, and also be a good person while he does it. So,
yeah, here's hoping that the guys at Cultaholic can get themselves off the ground, and
this does affect them quite heavily as well. And I wish, wish them the best of luck with starting up their channel in his absence.
I suppose the timing of all this kind of keeps Defiant Wrestling away from it in a way. It's kind of I don't know if that's a coincidence or if something was known behind the scenes.
Possibly.
It's kind of helpful in their case because they stepped away from this before it kind of came to light.
Yeah.
So
have to see what happens.
Let's hope for the best. Lots more entertainment to come our way.
Yes.
Otherwise, in the entertainment world, last time on the podcast, which also got dropped because of baffling technical reasons.
We don't know why.
I actually thought we left the mic off. Which baffled the mind, really. It's complicated switchboard stuff. Leon had talked about the Rick and Morty cartoon, which at the time I hadn't really heard of this. I mean, I heard of it. It's memes everywhere. It's basically the butt of every joke.
You can't avoid Rick and Morty these days.
I'd never seen it, and it didn't look so great visually. It's like, one of those silly adult cartoons with the really dodgy looking animation style.
It's very roughly drawn.
Just to recap, can you go over how you feel about the show? Just to pick us
basically, I hadn't watched it until a few weeks ago, not long before we recorded the previous podcast. I decided to pick it up because I renewed my Netflix subscription, and it's on there. So I was like, hey, let's see what all the fuss is about, and watch a few episodes of this thing. And I actually really quite enjoyed it. It's I'd say it's not perfect. It's not like this shining, great, messiah of a cartoon. But it's very, very funny. When the jokes land, they land hard. They're very, very good. Not every joke lands, however. I'd say there's some whiffs, but overall, it's just a really enjoyable. I'd say like a 7 out of 10. Very still very good, but not like amazing.
But not to forget, it's an incredibly adult
so
show.
far.
People that
so far, and not forgetting I've only seen like the first 4 episodes, so maybe 5.
So far, you're liking it. It's good. It is an incredibly adult show. It's not really suitable for children in any capacity, from what I've seen. Because I've watched the first 2 episodes now, so I've had my own impression. It's kind of like an adult version of Rocko's Modern Life a little bit. I kind of get that kind of vibe, and the voices are similar. But maybe I'm just overgeneralizing this a bit.
Maybe you're just nostalgic for Rocko's Modern Life.
Perhaps.
That was a good show.
The characters have incredibly familiar voices. I'm sure I've heard those voices in other animations, but I just couldn't put my finger on. Particularly the dad. His voice sounds like it's from something.
Quite possibly. I haven't looked into who the actors and actresses are.
It's really surreal just watching the 2 I saw. It's quite a clever little joke. I think I watched an episode of them dream diving, and then they kept dream diving in the dreams characters to try and solve their problem.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that episode. It's very funny.
It's a clever little bit of mechanic there. Though I'm sure that, I don't know, because I've only seen these 2, this one seemed to carry on from the last one, because the first episode he's trying to he makes up that the son Rick is smart, so he can because he's hanging out with Morty. Is Morty the son Morty is hanging out with the professor Rick, and that's making him smart. But
it's not.
It's not. And in order to try and prove this, he's had to delve into the dreams of the teacher in order to get his grades up, which seemed like it was a continuation. But
it kind of is and isn't. From what I've seen, the episodes aren't direct continuations of each other.
But
so
I suppose this is supposed to be pick up and just drop, isn't it? You watch it randomly.
Yeah, you should be. I think it's one of those where you should be able to just pick up any episode and watch it and enjoy it and watch the season in any order, basically. Apart from maybe the season finale and the pilot. But, yeah.
Maybe. I'm really surprised how much of a following the show has. I've seen like YouTube videos with theories about the characters and
watching it and then also knowing how rabid the fan base is, I'm not.
Maybe you got to watch more.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that it became so popular because it's very, very easy to get into. It's not too complex, and there's a whole meme going around at the moment. You've seen that. I'm not gonna try and remember the whole paragraph off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But it's somebody saying you have to have a very high IQ to understand Rick and Morty, and this has been parodied countless times.
Is that a parody off of Big Bang Theory? In that, you've got to be smart to understand the jokes, which may not.
Somebody actually from what I understand, somebody actually made a huge rant paragraph, in all seriousness, and then that was taken and used as a meme because it's, which I find quite funny. Like the Rick and Morty fan base is out there, almost as good as the Undertale fan base.
But where would we be without our fans?
Exactly. All 2 of them. You're our fan.
Who, me?
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I'm pointing at my camera.
Are you pointing to the one?
I'm pointing at the people, the person behind the camera. Yeah, they're our fan. Thank you for watching.
We saw the reflection before. All that's behind your camera is the telly.
No, it's my fan. Anyway,
we'll come out of this cul-de-sac of comedy and head in to the cul-de-sac of games.
Let's talk about what we've been playing since the last podcast.
Well, I'll start.
Do you want to lead us? Yeah, you lead us off.
So, as I said last time, I was playing Tomb Raider. I'm still playing more of that. I'd say it's still looking brilliant, still looking 4K. But this time around, I want to talk a little bit about a game that I played. It was for one evening alongside Gekidami on the old Game Geki show. You can check that out on his Gekidami channel, but just so you know, it isn't for all ages, so you know, if you're sensitive and that, you might not want to watch that. But
Yeah.
we played a game called Confess My Love. It's a little indie game with visuals similar to RPG Maker style. So it's a sort of tile-based kind of game, top-down view, and very 2D looking sprites of anime type characters.
Yeah.
It even has the default RPG Maker menu noise when you start the game, the blah, which really gives the game away.
A lot of games around like that.
Now, it quickly became apparent that Confess My Love wasn't we assumed it was just going to be a schmucky, a rather cheesy, cringeworthy story revolving around love, where you go around the high school and such. But actually, the whole game takes place in one room inside the classroom. There's the class is finished, and both you and the girl of your dreams are staying late behind the end of class. She's there just to do some work, and you're there to try and confess your love to this woman, woman. So you start by just walking over and selecting Confess My Love, and then you find out that she's not entirely requiescent on that love, and so your heart breaks and the game is over. You then start the game again, and then there's a additional character in the room, and from that point on you're able to pick different options and interact with the items in the room to try and change the outcome. And there's like 20 different endings to come across. Your main goal to try and confess your love and get your love requited back.
That actually sounds pretty neat. Actually, I like that.
It was a lot better than I was imagining it to be.
That sounds pretty dang neat.
It's just like one of those clever little indie games. And as you do the endings,
go on.
As you do the endings, there's a blackboard that fills up with little flags, just so you can keep track of which ones you've got.
Oh yeah, that's handy.
And the idea is, as you explore these endings, you start to learn a deeper truth about the situation, which I won't go into in case you're hoping to play the game. It's available on Steam, and it's free as far as I can recall. Confess My Love.
It semi-reminds me of another game which came out recently, which took people by surprise, called Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh.
I think that's what it's called.
I think I've seen that listed on Steam.
That surprised everyone because it looks like a bog standard romance visual novel.
Yeah.
But one of the Steam tags is something like what is it? It's like psychological horror or something like that. And there's a warning on the game page that it's not for people, people
that want to read
like not for like people with a weak constitution or anything. It's got warnings on it that it's like, this is not a happy game.
Wow.
So basically, but by all accounts, every screenshot, the description even sounds like a cheerful, happy romance visual novel, and that's how it starts out. Almost your entire first, because this almost your entire first hour or so is a happy visual novel, and then all of a sudden things happen. And I won't spoil this because this again is a free game; anyone can go and get it and play it. So, but then things change, and it's well worth having a playthrough all the way to.
Maybe that'll be coming up on Game Geki then.
Possibly, it's worth playing through all the way to the end credits. It will. It'll take a while if you're reading it, and
Confess
like
My
reading.
Love took us 2.5 hours. It was a really long live stream.
Yeah,
Mostly because I messed up There's one point in the game where you have to do a combination of keys really quickly, which I kept failing. Sorry, carry on.
Doki Doki is very, very long if you're reading out the dialogue as you go, for each character.
Yeah.
Because it's a visual novel, it's a lot of text. So.
Yeah, that sounds tricky because we do that a bit on Game Gecko. We'll read out all the lines so the people at home don't have to spend their energy reading.
It will probably take what should be like a 3.5 to 4 hour playthrough would probably take almost twice as long if you're reading every line aloud. So
yeah. I have to think on that one.
Yeah, you may be able to. I mean, you could. It's worth people to download and play because it's a lot faster to play through when you're not saying all the dialogue aloud. So it's definitely worth playing. It's got a surprising twist. An actual surprising twist that is very well telegraphed. So if you're good at picking up on the clues, you might see it coming. I was quite surprised.
Well, there you go. So that's 2 games for you guys to check out. Confess My Love, which I'm going to give a thumbs up. It's very simple, and it's only an afternoon of your time. A nice little story in there. And then the Doki Doki Literature Club.
I'd probably give that a thumbs up as well. It's very, very good. But what I've been playing more recently, because it's Halloween, is not this, but its sequel, The Evil Within 2. This game case was just a hand. It was perfect illustration, but imagine a 2.
Don't worry. There's a little graphic with Evil Within 2 written above your head, so you can just put it
up there.
Yeah, up there.
Been playing that game. Yeah, and so far I am enjoying it a lot more than this one. I'm only up to the end of chapter 3, so I'm not hugely far in the game yet. I think there's 15 chapters, might be wrong, something like that.
I want to ask, is there more of the good stuff from the first game? Or more of the bad stuff? Because in the first game, there were these excellent little areas where you had to sneak around stealthily and basically use the environment to solve problems. There's a lot of nice
stealth. At least in chapter 3. Chapter 3 is almost entirely a large open area. Think along the lines of Silent Hill 2. Sort of a large, not open world, but like a large city area to explore or village area to explore.
Setting pretty lofty heights for that.
So, but you'd imagine that like you can explore the town in Silent Hill, but it's not open world, and you can explore like the town in Evil Within 2, but it's not open world. No matter how many critics and reviewers I've seen on the internet saying this is an open world game, it isn't. It's a linear chapter based horror game. But it has some open areas at certain points of the game. Now the town in chapter 3 is large, don't get me wrong, but it's not open world. There's a lot of nice stealth. The first couple of chapters, there's some nice horror set pieces which I really enjoyed. The stealth is satisfying if slightly wonky.
Oh, wonky.
Slightly wonky. There was an incident where an enemy saw me, began to chase me. I was running from him, and then I realized I was doing the stupid horror trope of running in a straight line. So I went around a car and ducked, and he lost me.
So
the enemies are stupid.
You were in his line of sight.
I was in his line of sight when I walked around the car and ducked. And then I circled the car slightly as he walked around the corner, and he gave up.
Where'd he go? Well, he didn't want to be embarrassed, chasing you around the car again and again, like a dog chasing another dog, or a dog chasing itself.
Chasing its own tail.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm not doing it then.
So the AI is slightly stupid, but I also had another incident where some of the hitboxes on the enemies, or maybe the gun bullets, there's a slight issue with the hitboxes there, where I managed to shoot. If you shoot from too close a range, like point blank range, I think your hands basically you don't see it, but the game assumes that your gun is behind the enemy and all your shots miss.
That
So
sounds infuriating.
there's a little bit of an issue there. But if you're using the stealth mechanics, you never fire many bullets anyway, so sort of mitigated by a different play style.
I tend to be very run and gun. I have stealth for like the first 5 minutes in these kind of games, and then get.
You wouldn't be you can't run and gun in this game, especially on the higher difficulties.
It's how I am in
You
Tomb
just can't.
Raider. I started off.
You can run and gun in Tomb Raider quite
got
easily.
fed up and just ran and gun, which is how the original Tomb Raiders were. Now I think about it, so I guess that's okay.
Yeah. The Evil Within is very difficult to run and gun because of the very low amount of bullets. So it's survival horror. It's good. It's enjoyable. I like it. Like I say, not perfect. There's a couple of issues I've come across so far, but I mean they might get patched in the future and they won't matter. So
yeah, let's wait on them patches.
Yeah.
It sounds very PC game like those kind of bugs.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll be. I've been playing the PS4 version, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, they've taken out the matches to burn enemies when they go down, and they've taken out. What was I thinking? Yeah, so they've taken out the matches mechanic, and you now have a flashlight instead of a lantern. Other than that, it's basically the stealth works the same way.
So it is more of the same, but they've hopefully expanded on the good bits more.
Seems like they've refined it to me. Seems like they've refined it, yeah. And you can sprint for more than 2 seconds without getting out of breath, which is nice.
Ah, yes. The first game was a game of managing finite resources, which I assume
it was put.
The second
first game, it was pouring all your green gel into the sprint meter so that you could sprint for more than a couple of seconds at a time.
Is there still the weird psychiatric hospital area that you go to between every level to power up?
Basically, there's similar mechanics are still there. You still collect green gel and you still use them to enhance yourself. Except now they've added a crafting mechanic for the guns. So instead of using your green gel to upgrade everything, your green gel upgrades are just for Sebastian, and then you collect crafting components for your weapons and other things.
That makes sense. It sounds more realistic. Are you still going in through mirrors and cracks?
It's still mirrors, yeah.
It's the same kind of evil. Is it the same protagonist?
Yes, you play as the same guy. It's a direct sequel.
Ah, okay, cool.
So, I can't say much more without spoiling the first game. So, yeah.
Which I haven't quite finished yet. I played a load of the first game. Like must be at least 10 hours in. Assuming it's only a 15-hour game, but I don't know. So I need to get back on that eventually.
Yeah, I can't really talk about the story of this game without spoiling the story of the first game.
Yeah. Because
of it being a direct sequel. So, yeah. But mechanics wise, it's pretty good. Could do with some polish, but
That's sounding pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I might check that out one day. Although I've got plenty of games on my horizon.
Yeah.
One I'm hoping to have played for the next podcast is this one here, South Park, The Fractured.
Oh, The Fractured But Whole.
I don't know why I picked up the console version. It's just because it was cheaper than the PC version, which infuriated me. That's just something I've never seen before.
That's very rare, yeah. That's random.
They wanted £50 for the PC version.
How much was that?
45.
Yeah.
Not much cheaper.
No, but I can't imagine it'll run like arse on the console anyway.
No, I imagine it'll be fine. You'll be fine.
It's South Park. How intensive can it be?
Yeah.
Well, if you do play it in the next couple of weeks, you can tell us all about it.
Yeah. So I'll see what I can do on that front.
Yeah. Even if you just give it a try for an hour. Cool. All right. Are we? I think we're just about done, are we?
Ready to wrap things up? Yep.
Yeah.
With
So that brings us very close to an hour. So Yeah.
Got through everything. I'm not seeing any issues currently, but you never know. There's still plenty of time for issues before it's
No
gone
issues
online.
yet. Don't jinx it, Dan. Keep your fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
yeah.
The mics were both turned on. It's fine.
Oh, actually, no, it's fine. There's levels.
Yeah. So yep. We're closing in on the hour, so I'd just like to thank everyone who watched, especially you.
And you. wait, the camera's here. Ooh, mic. All right. See you guys.
Yep. Thanks for watching, and yeah, come watch the rest of the videos on the channel, please. Then we can monetize the channel. Bye.
Bye.